Hello and welcome to this June 4th, 2010 video version of InvestEd Central's Chart of the Day. I'm Tom Bowley, InvestEd Central's Chief Market Strategist, and it's my pleasure to provide you with today's Chart of the Day. This Chart of the Day is brought to you by StockCharts.com, simply the web's best financial charts. Today we are featuring King Pharmaceuticals, ticker symbol KG. This is about a $2.2 billion pharmaceutical company. If you take a look at the chart here, we're starting to see some positive divergences form on some long-term positive divergences form on many of these daily charts, and that's a good sign for the overall market. I still think potentially we have a little bit more downside. We'll have to wait and see how the market reacts to the jobs report and whether or not we can break above key 20-day moving averages on the main or the major indices, or if we simply just turn back down. If we do turn back down and move lower, I think there's a lot of individual stocks and even some of the indices that are starting to show some decent signs on the moving average convergence divergence. Take a look at KG here, King Pharmaceuticals. On the recent selling, you can see that when the selling really picked up in April and into early May, you can see that the MACD came straight down, pointed lower. But after we took the initial bounce in early May, you can see the MACD actually rose a little bit with that move, even though it only lasted a couple of days. And then when we kept moving lower here for the last 3 or 4 weeks, take a look at what's happened to the MACD. The MACD never went down and put in a new low. So we already had a little bit of a positive divergence, but after moving up again earlier this week and in the prior week, we came back down and on Wednesday actually printed a new low. So you can see here we have clearly a lower price in place for KG, but take a look at what happened to the MACD. The MACD is actually pointing up even though the last 2 days were down days, and normally what happens is as you move lower, your 12-day moving average normally pulls away from your 26-day moving average. In other words, the 12-day moving average of the price usually moves faster than the 26-day in the direction that prices are trending. When that changes, and that's really what the MACD is telling us, when that changes and all of a sudden we start to see the MACD turning up even though prices are continuing to move lower, it's a signal that the momentum, the selling momentum that we've seen on the stock for the last eight weeks, it's a signal that it's slowing. And we always like to try to respect these signals. The other thing, and I didn't even highlight it here, my mistake, but if you take a look, we've got a bullish engulfing candlestick right here, which completely engulfs the prior day's red candle. So we have a reversing candlestick, we have a long-term positive divergence on the MACD, and we have very oversold oscillators, both in terms of the RSI and stochastics. And check out the RSI, which has been below 30 for the better part of about 6 weeks, and now it's turning up. Just went back through 30 and is turning higher. So I think KG's got a decent chance to at least have a short-term move to the upside. We'll have to keep an eye on it and see whether or not we get more out of it than just a brief move to the upside. But the first key area of resistance is going to be the prior support level around 9.25. You can see we came down here to 9.25. We bounced, we went up to 10, and then came back down through 9.25 to the downside. We have yet to go back up and retest this area. So this is going to be an initial target of ours. The 20-day normally acts as a resistance area, and it may temporarily, we'll have to see. But with this positive divergence in play, I would expect to see ultimately a 50-day test, either a move straight up to go to the 50-day or maybe a little sideways action where we just kind of drift higher and the 50-day comes down and we meet perhaps at this target level. We'll have to see how it plays out. But I do like KG. I think this one you can put in a stop maybe down around $8 to $8.10 on a closing basis, maybe even $8 on an intraday basis, and maybe $8.10, $8.15 on a closing basis. And top side, like I said, the initial target, we'd be looking for about 9.25 to 9.30. I hope you've enjoyed our presentation today. Be sure to check out our chart of the day every day at InvestEdCentral.com. While you're there, sign up for our free weekly Market Pulse newsletter and have the chart of the day emailed directly to you. Happy trading.